If you're a Pokemon fan, I'm sure you've noticed this tweet going around with this picture right here that I'm showing, saying, not gonna lie, Sword and Shield looked better. Now, this is hard to say whether or not this tweet was made in earnest because it's the internet and people like to troll, and the Pokemon fandom in particular is very easy to troll. But whether it was made in earnest or not, this does kind of raise some concern because this is what people call the Pokemon cycle, and it's been going on ever since Gen 5. Ever since Gen 5, whenever a new uh, mainline Pokemon game would come out, they would be crapped on, and then when the next one comes out, they would be praised. When Black and White came out, everybody crapped on it, and then when X and Y came out and made the transition to 3D, and the Pokemon models had a lot less animation and character to them, suddenly Black and White was praised for its amazing sprite work. And then when Sword and Shield came out, and everyone thought that the graphics were going to be better because it's on a console, and they weren't. Everyone started saying that X and Y and Sun and Moon were beautiful, and now we're seeing the exact same thing happen. So whether or not this tweet was made in earnest, it does highlight a bit of a problem in the Pokemon fandom. This just happens all the time. I think people are just kind of sick of it, you know? And it's really bad in this case because Sword and Shield was crapped on so much, and now all of a sudden it's being praised. It's like, it just seems really hypocritical. But before I get into this particular Scarlet, Violet versus Sword and Shield thing, I do have to bring up a couple of things because I think context is important. Because I've never really talked about my whole opinion on Pokemon graphics and stuff like that. I was thinking about maybe one day making a video about it, but I guess now it's as good a time as ever. So I'm one of those people who doesn't really care about graphics that much. Like, there's a lot of context with each thing, and I say, every case is different. But in Pokemon's case, I've long since accepted that Game Freak, at least the ones that Game Freak makes, will never reach the level of graphical fidelity that other games on the console will reach. I mean, Pokken Tournament and New Pokemon Snap already show that. Like, those games look great, and Pokken Tournament was a Wii U game. But New Pokemon Snap, that looks amazing, And that was not made by Game Freak, and it shows because Game Freak likes to rush their games to meet a holiday release most years, so it will never look as good as it could. That's just their business model. Now, should it be that way? No, it really shouldn't. Pokemon is the highest-grossing franchise on planet Earth. They should not rush their games like this and make them look like garbage a lot of the time. Okay, that's harsh. They don't look like garbage. They're just not up to the standard that it should be. It's not up to the standard of a first-party Nintendo game. It's not up to standard for the highest-grossing media franchise on the planet. I've seen indie games that look better, But like I said, we all know at this point these games are rushed. And a lot of people, myself included, have given up on a mainline Pokemon game ever looking great. Like, Sword and Shield has a lot of problems, but I never considered the graphics to be anywhere near the biggest problem. It is a problem. It's kind of like, insult to injury, but it's nowhere near the worst problem that it had. And one day I will be doing a review of Sword and Shield, more of a retrospective, I guess. I plan on doing a retrospective on all the mainline Pokemon games. But for now, let's focus on this. So, Sword and Shield's graphics were not good. Legends Arceus graphics were a tad better, but not great. It wasn't a huge step up or anything. It still had a ton of problems. And Scarlet and Violet is not out yet, but from what we learned with Sword and Shield and Legends Arceus, the graphics aren't going to look much better. It's only a few months away from release, guys. It's not going to get much better. And, that's fine. By this point, we should expect that. I'm honestly kind of surprised people are still complaining about graphics. It's like, come on, guys, it's not going to get any better. And I'm not saying that we should just, ignore it. It's still annoying. Like, would I want a mainline Pokemon game that took the time to make it look really great? Of course I would. I don't care if we have to wait a couple years more than what we got. We're getting plenty of Pokemon games in the meantime. In between Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet, we had Legends Arceus and the Diamond and Pearl remakes, which ended up being total garbage, so I'm not even sure if that counts. But we're still getting Pokemon games, It's like, sometimes there's too many Pokemon games. And that's just the ones I've played. I actually know I didn't play the Diamond and Pearl remakes because they're garbage. But I played Legends Arceus, and there were other Pokemon games that came out that I didn't even play, in between. So it's like, we're going to be fine for Pokemon content. So I'd say they should, delay it. But, they obviously see their shareholders as the real customers, as a lot of game companies do. So this tweet, again, I personally don't think Sword and Shield looks better than Scarlet and Violet. There are a few things I think look a bit bland, like the menus and stuff, but that could easily change. That's something that's actually, they could easily change between now and release. But the overall graphics, they look like a Pokemon game. That's all I can say. I can't say they look good. I can't say they look horrible because I've seen worse, aka other Pokemon games. And I've seen way better, aka other Switch games, you know? But I don't think it looks a little bit better. Like, I guess the lighting and shading is better. Again, the game is not out yet. I'm not going to make huge, I'm not going to judge until it actually comes out. But like I said, as we know, it's probably going to look like this. There might be little touch-ups here and there because, every new thing they show, it's like, okay, maybe it gets a little bit better, but very minuscule stuff. This is basically what it's going to look like because Sword and Shield did not look that much better. It still had the Ocarina of Time trees and all that stuff. See, I'm not seeing any Ocarina of Time trees, at least in Scarlet and Violet, at least not yet. But, we'll have to wait until the game comes out. And even, like I said, all I care about is it's fun. Is it fun, Because Sword and Shield, for all its problems and stuff, I still had fun with it. It's still nowhere near the game it should have been, and I would not classify it as one of my favorite Pokemon games ever. But it did do a few things good that kept me coming back to it. For me, it was one of the most replayable games out there simply because of the amount of Pokemon that you could get in the beginning of the game. Sure, we didn't have all the Pokemon, which sucks, but at least the amount they gave us was very, versatile in what you could get before even the first gym and stuff. And thanks to Pokemon Home, you could like breed a Pokemon and then put it in Pokemon Home and start a new file, take it out of Pokemon Home, and you could have a whole crazy team at the beginning of the game. That's what I always like doing, especially for mono-type runs. Like if I want to do an all-electric type, I would take a bunch of electric types that I caught in my previous file, breed one, get a level 1 something, put it in Pokemon Home, bring it over to my new file, and there you go. You got a whole team of 6 electric types to do the entire game with. It made it so replayable. Even if it has a ton of problems, it still was fun. And that's why Legends Arceus to me wasn't that replayable. It had the smallest Pokedex of all time. Not of all time, I'm sorry. It was since Gen 1. Because even Gen 2 had more. So almost of all time. And it made it so less replayable because there were so few options to work with, It was a shame, But whatever. Now I'm just rambling. But yeah, this whole thing with graphics, yeah, the graphics aren't great, but I do not think Sword and Shield looks better. Not at all. They're pretty similar, but Scarlet and Violet, from what little we've seen, it has a few improvements, like I said, lighting, shading, textures and stuff. It does look nice. Like, not nice, but better, than Sword and Shield. Again, it makes me wonder if this tweet is even in earnest. It could have just been some, young person not really understanding anything about game development, or just someone trying to stir up drama. Because, like I said, this easily, like I said, so many fandoms are so easy to get into a frenzy. Which is why I'm not showing the person's, Twitter account that posted this. I'm sure they're getting enough hate as it is. I'm just showing the picture that they put up, And this is normally when I'd say, tell me your thoughts in the comments, but I think I pretty much know from looking at the tweet what everyone thinks of this. And I'm just throwing my hat into the ring. I'll talk more about it when the game comes out, but, like I said, I'm not a graphics person. I hope it's fun. At this point, that's all I can hope Pokemon games are, is fun, because they're never going to look amazing if they're made by Game Freak, at least. So that's my ramble. I'll see y'all next time.